Coming off the biggest year ever in federal IT. I mean, it's the biggest bull market in history, certainly in the 15 years that I've been tracking the federal IT market. We haven't seen award activity of this magnitude. We haven't seen the volume of not just overall awards, but large scale awards. And that goes hand in hand with the need to digitally modernize all federal IT infrastructures. That hasn't changed. That was really accelerated by COVID a couple of years ago. The pandemic really kind of put the emphasis on we need to, before we start layering on the advanced technologies like AI and Gen AI and analytics, we need to modernize the underlying infrastructure. No shortage of work in that regard. As I mentioned, we're coming off of the biggest year ever in federal IT. I think total technology spending across the federal space in federal fiscal 23, which just ended on September 30th, was north of 120 billion. We'll see what happens when the final numbers come out. They may be out already, but the expectations were that we would see spending between 110 and 120 billion. I think it's going to surpass that in fiscal 24. So in essence, in short, I'm confident in saying that the bull market will continue in federal IT. And so what are the drivers of that? I mentioned digital modernization. Drill down to the next level, and certainly on the civilian side of the market, the demand is around modernization technologies, cloud-based technologies. The AI conversations are happening now with much greater frequency. Automation and machine learning, et cetera, more advanced AI technologies. Shifting over to the defense side, you're also seeing a modernization trend. We have seen a lot of modernization work that's going to continue in the future. The emphasis there is on interconnecting the technology backbones of all of the service branches across the DoD, interconnecting them with the intelligence community and interconnecting them with the IT infrastructures of our nation-state allies. In addition, on the defense side, the emphasis is growing and will continue to grow on modernizing weapons platforms, tech-enabling weapons platforms with AI, pushing computing to the tactical edge. Those are all areas that we have seen an extraordinary amount of spending and an extraordinary amount of activity on behalf of the vendors that we track in the TBR's federal IT program. We expect that that's going to continue. I think the projections for fiscal 24 in the federal space are that total spending, the overall growth may slow down, but the overall volume of spending should be in the range of 120 to 130 billion dollars. So that represents the largest technology and technology services market in the world. There's plenty of headroom for growth for everyone. Around all the aforementioned technologies, our vendors, the vendors that we're tracking, are making investments to develop their own solutions organically. We have seen a downtick in merger and acquisition activity, but that's consistent with high interest rates and continued high valuations on the tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 level competitors that the tier 1 folks that we're tracking are kind of kicking the tires on for potential acquisitions. But in place of that, we're seeing a significant upswing, and we expect this to continue in 2024, a significant acceleration in the volume of joint venture activity across the board, at least across our board, the 11, 12, 13 companies that we focus on at the top of the market. We have seen a tremendous increase in the volume of venture capital activities, companies standing up their own venture capital units. And Booz Allen, for example, earmarking $100 million a couple of years ago to venture capital activity. So that's something that we can also expect to see in 2024. An overarching trend is just going to be the continuation of the volume of IT investment. The Biden administration has gone to great lengths to their commitment is without question. They are committed to modernizing the federal IT infrastructure. They are committed to improving citizen services over on the civilian side, enhancing defense IT backbones on the DoD side, enhancing intelligence services with AI and whatnot, and with the intelligence community, and better connecting with our allies. Our research in the federal IT space has taken and will take a greater focus on AI, certainly Gen AI. Over the last year, we have worked more closely with our colleagues tracking the cloud market, the global cloud space, worked more closely with them to track the overlap between global cloud and the federal IT market, and there's no shortage of activity there. So that's going to be another area that we focus fairly intently on in 2024. Certainly, I mentioned a moment ago the volume of joint venture activity, and there is a strong flavor, AI and cloud and advanced technologies there. So when you go through our reports, when you go through the individual company reports, and certainly the benchmark report that aggregates that all up at the end of each quarter, you're going to see more discussion focused around those emerging technology areas. Overall digital modernization, what technologies are driving that, and what are the vendors that we're doing, what are they, or that we're tracking, what are they doing in order to deepen their footprint, to entrench themselves in their key strategic accounts. In short, we're going to simply do more of what we were doing over the last couple of years and focus in on those key technology areas. Partnerships also, we're going to take a closer look at, because they have become a key enabler. Now, it's almost table stakes that the federal systems integrators will have robust partnerships with the cloud hyperscalers, AWS, Google, Microsoft. We've reached the point where the vendors that were behind the curve have caught up. They've at least approached the hyperscalers and are looking to, what can we do together? And now they're going to dive deeper. And so we're paying very, very close attention to that. But there's a multiple ecosystems of other players in the AI sector, Gen AI as well, in other advanced technologies, emerging technologies that we're going to be keeping our eye on, and how the tier one, the federal systems integrators, are reaching out to them, how they're managing their partnerships, how they're expanding their partnerships. So that's another key area that's our audience should keep on its radar for 2024.